from Cooley High. We're just excited that we have living history here, that we are celebrating a cultural phenomenon in the African American experience, and we're just delighted that they're opening up our series. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our moderator of today's event, Mr. Curran Gaines. He's on DTV. He's the host of the agenda, so give him a round of applause. Can't talk.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? I've been excited. Hey, what's happening? What's happening? I saw Dr. Spencer, and the first thing I said was, I'm fitting to tell mama. Doing the news and doing all this back and forth, and I think y'all have been watching the agenda, so thank you very much. And even if you don't clap and say that you have, it made me feel good about it. The ratings have been great this year, and we have a president that is newsworthy. We're saying that. Come on, it's newsworthy. So we're not talking about anything heavy tonight. We're talking about Roger Thomas. We're talking about Dwayne Wayne. No, I'm sorry, wrong show. Dwayne Nelson, I'm sorry. But going back to Rob's Place and going back to Cooley High and learning how all that kind of went together. And there were so many things, because for me, I guess I'm Generation X. I'm like 78, so whatever that falls in. So growing up here, I got the reruns of what's happening on Channel 17. Y'all know about Channel 17? And Channel 4? And I used to cut class in college to watch it. And I'm not proud of that. That was a very expensive class to cut. But without further ado, I think that we should introduce our guest this evening. What do you say? Let's give them a round of applause. They didn't come from around the corner to see us this evening. They came a mighty long way. So first, I want to be clear about this title. We know her as Dee, but her real name is Dr. Danielle Spencer. Please, come on out. Come on, y'all can do better than that. Now, our next guest is, we're going to break it up a little bit, but this is another rites of passage movie. What would life be without Cochise? I said Cochise was the first Ricky from Boys in the Hood. That was like the first, you know what I mean? Ricky! Then seeing Cochise, and it was a sad day that day. But without further ado, Mr. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. Yeah. Brother looking good too, ain't he? Letting y'all know. Look at all them ladies in there clapping. Next, he was sitting at the stool at Rob's Place, and he had 3 words that he would greet. That he would greet to everyone as he entered Rob's Place, normally with Shirley right behind him, giving him enthusiasm. Mr. Haywood Nelson, y'all. I didn't expect the music, all right. See, He's been messing with Ernest the whole time. And next, I'm not going to do his laugh. His laugh I'm going to save for... Yeah, I don't want to spill my cool points all on the floor. People are like, man, just let him do it. Mr. Ernest Lee Thomas. I don't want to get in everybody's shot, so I came down here. All I saw was a sea of cameras, and I know they, as much as my ego and narcissism would love to think that it's for me, I know that it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, my childhood. I don't know. There it is, right there on stage. Oh, it's yours too? It's yours too? Because in the early 80s, I had an afro. I've seen the school pictures. I wish I could get it back. It wouldn't look the same. But it wasn't as cool as Dwayne's, though. We'll get you covered. We got you covered. So thank you all for this Cookout series. I love that name. I really love that name because that's I get the same shoulder drop relaxation when I think of cookouts and when I think about these shows. As you know, in life, the TV plays a fundamental role sometimes in our relaxation. And nowadays, you can't turn anything on, especially if your kids are in there, because you don't know how it's going to go. And especially if you don't know the show, right? So we're forced sometimes to go back, and through Tubi and all these other platforms now, we can still see these folks, and it's great. And I have my teenagers sit down, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you watching this. You going to watch this and really get to see what it was like growing up. And I think it's great that they're here. We're going to have an opportunity to have questions from the audience. We weren't sure we were going to do that in the beginning. We're going to do that later on in the show. So start those wheels are turning. Start thinking about some great questions to ask. But we introduced the guests. I have some questions for them. Hopefully there's some of the same questions that you may have in your head, right? But to learn a little bit more about the history and everything and how people got here, and especially, I don't know the amount of pressure that it had to be, and to be young icons, young black icons, representing, I guess, teenagers at that time. And for my first question, and feel free anyone to take it, that wasn't something that was common in the early 70s. They've been on it. They've been on each other hard, man. They've been on each other hard. Yeah, you heard. I heard she said you heard it here. Yes. But these, I mean, you guys were. I mean, certain races had that, we'll say, but not us. This was something new in the 70s. You guys were like the first real pinups, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I guarantee you, so some of these people still got that pinup of you in here. I'm going to be honest.
Not that big.
So it's great, and what I didn't realize in doing some research and trying to make sure that I represented each one of these great actors and legends properly was their backstories and their lives and some of the great things. I want to start off with, again, Dr. Spencer, right? So many times we hear these things about people, being childhood stars and things go, but she went to an HBCU, and how do we feel about HBCUs here? And still acted, right? It did movies here and there, and it.
Take off any time to go to any sets or anything, just because of my caseload. But once I started going to university. Once I started at the university, I pretty much just completed my school program because I knew if I stopped, I may not finish. So
I went through the same thing. I went through the same thing. So tell us a little bit about how you got started in acting.
Well, my stepfather, which Clarence knows very well, Mr. Tim Pelt, and my mother were married, and he went to theatrical ensemble, all fabulous actors in New York, and that was my first exposure to acting as well. And I mean, it was just, it seems more common now, but back then it was just so dynamic and exciting, and I mean, you're silly. So that's how we were introduced to acting, through the Alpha Theatrical Ensemble.
Tell them this album. You were about 8 years old. Kim was about 4.
Oh yeah, Kim.
Fields.
Yeah,
So we were
she may have been around. Yeah, she was 2 years younger than me.
Right. So you
Yeah,
guys
so
are close
she,
to me.
yeah.
Wow. So how did it get to the point where you were on
the show.
the show?
I went on auditions and never thought that I would really land a role, because you know, when you're a child, it's more common now. People think you go on an audition, you get a role. Back then, you think you're going on a little play date, or you're going to hang out, you're going to go to the office, and you read some lines, and then the next thing I knew, I had the role, and I was so shocked, and I didn't know how to feel, because I was like, well, that is why I was at the school. So, and after I started in the role and I met with the cast and we all gelled, we all got together from day one.
Yes. And then there was the reboot. Y'all remember the reboot that came in? I think that was 85?
85.
1985 to 88, there was a reboot. But I need to know, what was it like working with Rerun? Fred.
Hello.
Well, of course, he loved to dance. I will say that. And he always liked playing jokes on you. He loved to pull my ear all the time, which got on my nerves.
Yeah. So if you had to think, Dr. Spencer, of a story to tell out of your tenure, either early season or later season, what would that be? A good experience.
An acting experience on the set.
Yeah.
Well, I think the one thing that unified us is our love for Mark Warren, who was our director for many, many years. And we all loved him so much, and he was very dear to all of us.
Yeah.
So did you all take care of Seth when she's truly your sister?
Oh, yes. Well, I was trying for her not to be my sister, but Lord have mercy. Hey, little girl, this is make-believe, okay? You go to your home, I go to mine. But she didn't want to hear that, and I remember her jumping in front of me, didn't want me to leave for rehearsal, and Shirley came up and said, "Hey, fool, she loves you." Right. And I remember that day. And so from then on, they would come over to the house. She and Haywood, because Haywood's 15, she's 9. And you never had kid friends, so the first time they had adjust to them, and they're always trying to show me what they're doing in the pool and the swimming and the latest dance, and it carried over even after the show. Danny, if she had a boyfriend, she wanted me to check out, see what I think of him. Haywood would be the same thing with the girlfriends. So I realized it wasn't just because we were on the show. We had something, we truly loved each other dearly. And only God can make that, it really was,
And you know what? And that is a testament to God, because from day one when we first met, we all had been doing some things prior. I'd worked on a number of different things. But we walked in the United California Bank. I think it was the second floor. They had a conference room that was emptied out except for a long table with chairs. And we walked in there, and as everybody came in, I don't know what it is, man, but from that moment, we were family. You felt it. You knew it. There was no question about it. It was instant family, and it never changed. And we were like that straight on throughout, always.
Yeah, it was like It was otherworldly.
It was.
Because I've never met. It's like we knew each other before. As soon as we touch hands, it's something only God can put together. You've seen films with superstars in there, and the film still fails because the chemistry isn't there. So when that happens, only God made that happen. So.
That's why y'all didn't have me on the show, right?
Mr. Jacobs, it started.
Brother.
It started.
It started with Cooley High, right?
Cooley High.
You set it in motion.
Cooley High.
We have to give respect to Mr. Monty,
Yes.
who was, I would say, the original Roger Thomas. I mean, he was Preach
Jackson,
from Cooley High, and he was the writer
Yes.
of the movie. And yeah, he was the writer of the movie and sold the show back in California to create the spinoff that was supposed to be Cooley High spinoff, and they changed the name to What's Happening. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
All right.
Right.
So,
That's right.
so it was very interesting to me. But I mean, you please tell us, Mr. Jacobs, what it was like being on the set of Cooley High, and did you know it was going to be this cult classic that's affected? I mean, still today. I mean,
I never heard of that movie. Tell me about it a little bit.
it's my turn now. Don't worry about it. He's on me now.
Yeah, man. Cooley High, of course, is a great experience. You mentioned Eric Monte, who's still a friend, and he created Good Time. Well, he was the co-creator with Mike Evans on Good Times. He was a writer on The Jeffersons. He, of course, did Cooley High, which spun off to become their show, What's Happening, and so forth. Cooley High was a great experience. You know, and when people ask me about it, I have a lot of reflective moments when we were on the set and doing things. And even when I watch the film now, I look at it, I say, nobody could be that skinny. And that trips me out sometimes. But I got these wonderful lifelong friends out of it. Just a couple of days ago, I called Glenn Turman and I called Garrett Morris, who played Preach, and Mr. Mason. It was their birthdays. 78, 88 years old, you know, and we were still talking.
I know him as Colonel Taylor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah,
it's Glenn
man.
Turner, but I know him as Colonel Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the other role that stuck out for him, you know.
Right.
So we're real tight like that. We're real easy. And for me, you know, I mean, the movie, of course, is its own experience, and I cherish that forever. But our relationship when we're with each other, we really don't even talk showbiz. We're family. They're we all have a quiet respect for ourselves, for each other, and myself sometimes, if I act right, you know. And so Cooley High is just magic, man. You know, it's something that, it's same thing like, you know, Danielle and what's your name again, Ernest, and Hayward were saying, you know, how things sometimes just click. You know, I had never met Glenn before that. You know, in fact, Glenn Turman had done a movie called Five on the Black Hand Side, where he played a militant guy. I had done a movie called Claudine, playing a militant guy. Don't ask me why this is,
Claudine, right?
but check it out. People thought we were the same person, which is nuts. Wow. So when we got together, we looked at it the first day, and I said, well, we'll end this rumor here. But it was an instant hit. You know, I had known Garrett a little bit in New York because I had worked with him a few years before. These experiences grow out of themselves. You can't get along if you don't get along. And it's got to be honest, and it's got to be true. You know, so I watched their show, and I watched how they grew real fast, and it was an instant click. You know, it happened with me with Cooley High, all the other things, Welcome at Carter that came afterwards. You know, you just get lucky sometimes, you know. And,
So what was it like watching the show afterwards? I mean, like seeing What's Happening and knowing that you were in the original, you knew the writer.
I never thought of it as such. You know, I knew originally they had done a Cooley High pilot that Ernest was in, and my friend Dorian Harewood had played the Cochise part. But they brought it up to 1974. The movie had taken place in 64. And that didn't flip, but they liked the idea of it, but they liked him to death. So everybody was like, get out. And they kept Ernest, and it developed, and a rerun became me. Figure that one out. You know? It was its own show. I never looked at it as a comparison, you know. I just, I love the show. I watched it all the time, of course. And things have to grow on their own. So that was my view, my point of view of it.
And Larry was in the audience that pilot, that first night.
Was I there for the
Yeah,
I
he
know I
was
thought
in
there
the
was a few
audience.
times. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But I was wondering why y'all didn't hire me,
Yeah.
man. What's up, brother?
I think he still feels some kind of way.
You know, I like to eat regular. I was a starving actor. Feed me.
Yeah, he's still feeling some kind of way about that.
Yeah.
Now, Haywood, a lot of people don't know is, I mean, you've been on Broadway. I mean, you started in Broadway and seeing this now. And my question for you all, and I'm not taking anything away from the people now. I think that TV's different, right? We're in a lot of reality shows, and then a lot of TV shows that are make-believe reality shows.
Yeah.
You know, it's a reality show, but it has a script. I don't understand how that works. I have a friend on one, and I'll keep him nameless, and I'm just like, you're not an actor. Stop it. Stop it. But what do you think now of I guess black shows that are on TV? And I hate to call them black shows, but shows that have a predominantly black cast, and I think the message now more than ever is important into what we put out into the world, right? Because there's so much
Here's
that has.
the thing, just to get on that. It's not so much to look at it as a black show. It's got black cast. Okay, that's obvious, and everybody got a job. Let's get it real. That's important. 'Cause they work,
Employment is good.
But these guys, my friends here, I've known forever, and stuff like that. You get a show, and then within that confine, you find other things to bring out. You find out how to bring the love, or show a piece of truth, or a piece of something that might be relevant, and that's what resonates, and that's what makes the sense. We used to try to find that in Welcome Back, Kotter all the time, because we would just be a bunch of little crazy teenage guys being nuts. But we'd find moments where we could be tender or be reflective about something that can reflect life. We're not trying to teach the world, but in a sense you do. When you say the shows of today, or I don't know which specific shows you're talking about, but I just think that it's good that you get to see people of any ethnicity, and black too, expressing themselves and finding that extra flavor to bring forward. The audiences will always, you just give them a chance, they'll get it, and so forth. It's a tough game, being in television, because this network is very conscious how they do it. They're thinking about sponsorships and how much they can gain, because it's all about making money, and it gets in the way of the creative is the last thing they'll think about, which is the only thing that's going to make it work. So it gets a little bit confused. You get tough. I certainly have gotten that way over the years. I'm always cracking jokes, but I'm the last guy at Scooter Lands you want to fuck with. I ain't the one. I ain't the one, man. And so this is how it rolls, man.
Yeah.
You learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I hit that age where you just don't care anymore.
It's coming.
I don't care. I'm tired of all y'all. I can't wait. And I'll get to you. I learned.
You want to say something?
Well, wait. Yeah, I'll wait.
I'm sorry. You got manners. I'm impressed, man.
I learned that you are not to bootleg tapes, especially when you have the Doobie Brothers there. And I learned that was a message. That was a message that was learned. Don't put anything in your pocket.
It's going to fall out.
It's going to fall out, and there's going to be a problem, no matter how much people pay you to do that. It's not real, y'all. I'm sorry. That was a takeaway.
Absolutely.
I also know if the apartment's not right, what? No Roger, no rerun, no rent.
You know what that means?
No rah-rah, no rerun, no rent.
And that means something that Queen Latifah talked about, UNITY.
Yes,
Unity.
that's right.
The tenant said, no. They're not here, we're not paying
We
you.
ain't playing.
It's about unity.
That's simple.
And Cheryl wrote that particular.
Really?
Love it. Yeah, Cheryl
That's
Peltz.
Danielle's mom. That's Cheryl Peltz.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, too, that Clarence and I went to acting, you went to acting school more than I was.
We were in the same acting ensemble. We're at the Al Theatrical Ensemble up in Harlem, in the basement of the St. Philip's Church.
Right.
Daniel was there. Kim Fields was there.
was there.
Chip Fields. People came out like Vernee Watson and Tom Blackwell came out of that. Adam Wade. We were all there at the same time. They were the two little starry-eyed kids staring at me.
But you had an opportunity to work with people like James Earl Jones and Claudine. Like, what was that experience? I mean,
let me give you a little history on that with
God rest his
James Earl.
soul.
By the time I worked on Claudine with James Earl Jones in '73, I was 19, turning 20. I'm 71 now. I don't hide my age. That's the way it is. But I can hang.
but you let them take you let those people take your manhood.
But as a young kid actor in my neighborhood, a lot of the actors just seemed to live. There was Ron O'Neal and it was Claudia McNeil and Ray Charles, a guy who used to be called Lou Elson, who was playing ball in the park, which turned to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. This is a neighborhood. So all those guys, Yaphet Kotto, they all lived. So I was the kid they would let come in to read when they were reading plays in somebody's tenement building. So James Earl would be there, and it'd be Yaphet, and it'd be Julius Harris, and this little 15-year-old kid, me, couldn't believe they would let me in. They just pulled me into the game. And so by the time Claudine came around, I didn't know him well, but I knew him, and he was very open with me, even like at one point when we were going to do this, you believe this one, they had a scene when I had to beat him up. I mean, back then I think I weighed 130 pounds if I was lucky. But he told me about his life, and I knew his father, Robert Earl Jones, as well, and later on his brother, Matthew Earl Jones. But he told me when he was a stutterer and how difficult it was coming up and how he was estranged from his father. He was always trying to get that relationship to come back. Just very honest, nice brother and a good man. Always been a good friend, all the way.
And Haywood, you grew up acting with Lawrence Fishburne, right? With going to auditions and
Yeah, New York actors. We were child actors coming up, but you pretty much started in commercials. So Lawrence Fishburne, myself, Giancarlo Esposito, the three of us would always show up at the same auditions at the same time, and so our mothers knew each other.
Dean Big Brother Almighty is what I rank around. It's not a Breaking Bad for me.
But so we became friends because we would see each other all the time, and our mothers knew each other. And one of us would get the role or another, and we always would laugh and joke, about who was going to grab it today. But it was and as both Danielle and Larry both explained, you're part of these groups in New York, and we all were training up, not like we're trying to train up, but you're in a flow. Back then I remember when Lawrence left to go do Cornbread Earl and Me. He broke out and went that way, and then I went and did a movie called Mixed Company, and I went this other way, and then we kind of all kind of bounced off. We didn't see each other.
Ernest went to jail, didn't he? I'm just checking. Maybe
Ernest,
I got it wrong.
if I knew it was coming out, I said duck, but I didn't know it was. I didn't know it was
Ernest
coming.
and I, we used to deal crack, but we gave it up, man. We went into showbiz.
We did all.
Yeah, we
I've
had
been
to
trying to duck that. I've been trying real hard.
Just give it up, brother.
No, we did. But thank God, right? A lot of people didn't survive.
I know this cat a long time.
I want to tell you about Lawrence Hilton Jacobs.
Uh-oh.
He had Claudine and Cooley High were auditioning for this play, and he came in, and I said, man, I might as well go home because I know you got it. And he said, no, man, forget about me. Go and do your thing. And I got that role, so I just want to say
I'm
he's a good
not
guy.
over it yet, brother. Too. Yeah.
And if you want someone who's going to give you brutal honesty and loyalty, it's him. You know you're safe with him. He's not going to give you any bull, and he's loyal. Yep. But he ain't going to sugarcoat it. He's going to tell you the truth.
True friends stab you in the front. Yeah. Remember that.
And his mother was a mighty woman of God, and she blessed me. She prayed over me. I will never forget that too. A mighty woman of God. This little dude here, what's your name again, brother? Haywood is a bona fide genius.
Oh.
Danielle too. Dr. D, right? This kid, engineering, arts, anything about any computer. If you want something done, give it to Haywood. You want a persuasive letter. You want something organized. He's a pain. He's anal about it.
I am. I definitely am.
Yeah, but he's good.
But he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it done. So you have to thank God for everyone up here. This is not pretend. We really can sit and let everybody shine.
Well, you can't pretend at the Cookout. This is the Cookout series. You got to be honest. The one question, everything wasn't always happy at Rob's place, right? With what's happening. There was an issue in regards, and I think Mr. Barry is the one that stood up in regards to salaries, right? And this pushback. And back then, you had race played a role, right? What were black actors being paid?
That always plays a role.
It's still playing a role today.
That's life,
Well, and I did too.
That's right, you did as well.
And I both walked out. It was really about the dressing room. At the time, we felt the dressing rooms were shabby. So then they said they were going to replace us.
Flying too? Were scripts flying through the air too? Like
were scripts flying through the air?
Make scripts into frisbees is what you're
Oh yeah. But the dressing rooms were the. So I know Bud Yorkin said, "I'll give me another little skinny, and another little fat. I'll replace y'all." But they had an arbitration, and we could never walk out again. They did make us real nice dressing rooms, But it's not all the producers. No one told me it on drugs. They didn't hand me drugs. They didn't hand me the freebase and the cognac and stuff like that. That was my curiosity. Yeah, that was it.
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying.
Just
blame
one
it on me,
question.
man.
Yeah,
Because I didn't know this part.
yeah.
Cognac's bad?
Yeah, no, but
I didn't know cognac was bad.
No,
I'm in
cognac's okay, but if you drink too much,
Oh.
I became like an exotic dancer, and it was just, what's going on? What's wrong? What's wrong? I made $5 a day. I don't know what you're talking about.
Ernest, man, I just want to add something we were talking about, because I understand when you're doing a television show for a while, like they did this for a long time as well as I did mine, it becomes super, super popular. It becomes a big profit margin for the producers, and the actors just get that part of the stick. And so you learn how to stand up for it, because we had to learn the same thing on Carter, where they had played us like that, but we pulled ourselves together. We had to learn that, and that became the power base, because they tried to buy us out up front, so down the line they wouldn't have to pay a certain residual intake, and we didn't go for it, and we got them to up the deal. They even got some old network deal they gave me to do TV movies, which never happened, but they gave me the money. I spent it, and you find a different way, but it's a very funny thing, because you know that you're very responsible, as everybody is inclusively, to make something work. But the actors, more than not, from the production side, it's just another thing, or they treat you in that manner. So that's why you heard me say earlier, I don't play it, because I've learned it. And I've learned it from great people like the James Earl Joneses, who talked to me, and the Dick Anthony Williams, rest in peace. All these wonderful actors who took me in as a kid, and just Miles Davis used to live in my neighborhood, and he would say, "Man, kid, don't never let them fuck with you." And he would just tell it to me, man. I was like, wow, Miles, man. It was unreal, man. As a kid, you have it all is based on our parents and the love that we get. Great mom to this young lady all her life, Cheryl, the bomb, always, still is.
Please stand up, Miss Cheryl. Please stand up.
Yeah, man. Cheryl Pelt.
Let them know who you are. No Roger, no rerun, no run.
Absolutely.
That's right there.
And then y'all would always be telling my mother what I was doing on the set.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I'm happy you got to know my mom. You saw my mom many
Oh,
times.
man.
She thought he was his other son.
You
cook for me, cook for him. I mean,
oh, my Lord.
Yeah, left me in the dust.
It just, I never forgot that. I mean, she prayed, and you could feel the power of Christ when she was praying for you. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. She was a real
Powerful
deal.
lady.
I will never forget that.
Oh, yeah.
So is it, and for some actors now, it's whatever, but is it still hard for y'all to walk through airports? Do people see you and say, hey, or you know what I mean, at the gates? Dr. Spencer, did they say, I'm going to tell Mama?
You know what? I don't get it as often, which is weird, because there was maybe a decade or so ago, it was really difficult. But now, no one says anything. Now, if I say my name, and they're like, this sounds familiar, and then they make the connection. Oh yeah, you look like
Like this.
Yeah.
They come up to me, I hear this, like, Michael, Marlon. I hear it all the time.
It's so hard to say goodbye
It's a trip.
to yesterday.
Man, tag for life. What are you going to do? You got to roll with it, right?
Oh,
Now,
man.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you know you get some hey, walking to the air. Because you still look the same. I'm going to be honest with you.
He gets a lot of it.
You still looks the same.
I ain't telling that lie, but,
I know. I ain't trying to believe it.
The
we put
ladies,
ourselves together.
when he would come out, they would just scream. They would scream. I mean, you had people like Madonna and a lot
That gold chain on,
a lot of them
man,
wanted it
man,
down.
man.
But he didn't never take advantage of that,
Stop lying.
Yeah.
Stop lying. Stop lying. Church is on
You know what?
Sunday.
Tell the truth.
But here's the deal. Here's the
Stop
deal.
lying.
The bottom line is, like for me, especially because I was a teenager during the show. I was a teenager, and coming out of New York, we had that little bit of swagger about it. I'm from New York City. I'm from Harlem. I got to represent, or I can't go back home.
Right.
So I carried that with me, but I gotta say, I grew up watching Cooley High.
Sure.
I grew up watching Carter. I grew up watching all the black so-called exploitative movies. That was my pride.
Right.
When I go, well, you mentioned about mothers, women, period. I got to give up mad props to women and the respect that I have for the women in the culture, because that's what keeps it all together.
Great brother.
My mother, Maxine.
Maxine.
And my manager, a 4'11" Irish woman, Kathy Dowd, she brought me in and said to me, look, you're doing commercials, that's Madison Avenue. I'm going to send you up for parts that are for white children. You look at the script, you learn it with your mom, let your mom explain it to you. After that, I want you to let that go. You go in and say what you feel. Be you. Yeah. Don't worry about what you think they want. Don't think about any. Just go and do what you feel to be right in that. If you get it, beautiful, babe. But if you don't get it, honey, don't worry. I'll send you for another. We'll get the ones that God has for you. But main thing, be yourself and go do what you do. Well, what myself was, and the point I want to make, is it came from what I was watching. I got to watch Cooley High. Cochise, I'm like, yo, I'm going to be cool like that. I'm watching other movies, and that was where I began to form my own identity through the films I was watching. You talked about Tim Pelt in some of the movies from late 60s. I'm watching all the actors.
Come back, Charleston Blue. He's
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yaphet Kotto, he went to school with my mother. So I had all these images out there. They were in the Bronx. They went to high school in the Bronx. I learned by who I saw, and it was my motivation because I didn't see enough of me out there.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, Kathy's got my back, and my mom's got my back. I'm going to go in here and get this role no matter who it's for, because I'm going to come in and they're going to get a whole dose of Haywood. And I'm going to do it through, as a filter, I'm going to do this character through me. And if I get it, I get it. If I don't, whatever. I go back to my motorcycle, mini biking and playing basketball. I don't care.
You had a mini bike too?
Oh, I was a motocross.
Yeah, come on.
I'm all
What
about
else do
that.
you need?
I'm big on that.
You said like when you were younger, you were 17 and you know young and those girls were tripping on you and you didn't take advantage, but it's okay, I did.
Yeah. Right.
I had you covered, man.
That's
I
good.
want you to know
That's
that.
good. It's all good.
It hasn't stopped.
I tried to avoid that too. I tried to avoid that part too. I tried to avoid it. I said, I'm not going to put them out there.
Yeah.
I know the 70s and 80s were rough. Y'all had a good time. Y'all had
He
a
was really
very
17. I was 22 playing 17.
22 playing
Yeah,
17.
it was
The
different.
funny thing, even at young, and Danielle and I were in school together with our tutor. So we got to be educated one-to-one with a teacher, which was nice. So we had our work from back at our school, but we were in class, and our first teacher, Dick Wickland, became a good friend of mine. He was actually my tutor when I was doing Grady, the spin-off of Sanford and Son, and then went into What's Happening. And he had a Piper Cherokee airplane. And so he made a deal with me. If I got my work done, I must have been about 15. This is before What's Happening. If you get your work done, you know, in less than the 4 required hours, we could spend the rest of the day out at the plane. Oh, I'm done.
You did well.
So we were at Burbank Airport.
Nothing like an incentive.
I'm prepping the airplane, and we're going up and flying. He taught me to fly at 15. This is before I had my driver's license.
Wow.
So I'm flying, and so it kind of early on, the girls, yeah, they're cool, but they couldn't give me the rise that I got out of an airplane. Yeah,
You just didn't meet the
you
right
need to go
girl.
flying with me. You'll see what I'm saying.
You didn't meet the right girl.
No.
Damn, that plane.
No, buddy.
You can catch one right here in Newcastle for $59 and bring your own sandwich.
Only a 15-year-old.
I know some girls. I'm sorry, I went. Sorry.
Oh, my Lord.
Forgive me, Lord. I'm trying to put that behind me now.
You're a nut.
But I've been trolling you all for the past week since I was drafted to do this wonderful interview. Voluntold, however you want to look at it. But there was an awesome story. It was a little long, but if you could abbreviate it, about you going home with Fred Berry on a plane on a Friday night,
Yeah.
and you didn't expect that. And it speaks to the mentorship that you got from folk that helped mold you to who you are today.
No, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, here I am. I'm young. I live at home with my parents and brother and all. But Fred always broke out on Friday nights. I'm like, yo, what's going on with him? Where does he always rush out of here? I gotta go, brother. And he's out. So I got a chance one night. I said, look, I want to go with you. Where you going? He said, I'm going home. I said, where's home? San Francisco. I said, yeah. And so he told me I could come with him. So one Friday night, we finished taping. After taping, you got to do all your pickups, all the things that didn't go right. You got to redo them. And, I'm watching the clock, and he's looking at the clock. He said, we got to go. So we broke out. We get to LAX. We get in the plane. I say, yo, I'm going to San Francisco with Fred Berry. We're going to meet up with his wife, Francesca. I know I'm going up here. It's going to be large. This is cool. They got a house in another city. Yo, we're going to be rolling in the car. We're going to be in the house. Yo! We land the plane, PSA jet, an hour flight, and we're in San Francisco. And we walking out with our little bag, and I'm looking for the big car, and there was this little car, looked like a clown car. It was a little Honda Civic with the little 14-inch wheels. I said, that is something ain't right. We opened the door to get in, and the brown car is brown, but the inside was yellow. So somebody spray painted this bad boy. Yeah, and I said, hey, Francesca. So we roll up to the house. I said, that's all right. I know we're going to the big joint. We're going to that house. We pull up to the house, and it's this little cottage house with a little detached garage. And went, okay, something ain't right. Somebody playing a joke on me. And they unlock the door, and I go in. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. This house was decorated beyond belief. It was so warm and earth tones and plants like those, look like Bob Marley, big plants in every corner and
different types of plants, though.
Yeah, right. And it was real nice furniture, and they put on jazz. And I play drums. My dad was a jazz drummer, so I love jazz. They put on the music. And we had this weekend together where, no alcohol, anything in the house. We drank herb teas. They cooked food at home. We ate, with the squash and the fish, and we're eating. And they wake me up Saturday morning. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to rest. They like, come on. We got in that little itty-bitty car again. We up in the hills. They stopped. They got fresh water out of the mountain. I ain't never did that in Harlem. Hudson River, you try
getting
that.
fresh water out of the mountain.
We went a little further. We got a bag full of apples. I'm like, what is this about? We go through the fog, and we end up down in Half Moon Bay, right? We get down there, and they've got horses at the corral down at the beach. They get their horses out, and they're brushing their horses. They're feeding the horses apples. They tell me, don't do it like that. They cut your fingers off. You got to feed them like that. And they gave me a horse, and I'm feeding it. We jump on the horse, and we go riding on the beach in the fog. And I'm like, yo, and I knew how to ride, but I'm like, wow, I'm really feeling this. Fred, in the water with his horse, jumps off and swims with his horse. I'm like, this is a whole nother level.
I've been to a couple of y'all's houses over the weekend, and I ain't nothing like that. I ain't gonna point you out here, but y'all know who you are.
So Fred was cool, but he was mental. Let's get real.
But you know what?
That's our boy.
That's one of the things Steve Jobs from Apple said. You want to get it done right, give it to a crazy one.
There you go.
The crazy ones will step outside the box and make it happen.
Yeah,
and we ended our weekend by going to Berkeley to concerts. And I remember not down in orchestra, not in the expensive seats. We're upstairs on the rail up on the second tier,
Nosebleed.
and we're seeing, Angela Bofield, Joe Sample, Chick Corea, all these jazz artists. I'm like, whoa, Gil Scott-Heron, Noel Pointer on violin. And it just went on and on. Airto, Flora Purim, and it just went on and on and on. All the greats. Al Jarreau. Everybody's on stage, and I'm right here watching. Then we flew back to come back to do the show. I was transformed.
Of course.
Because I knew after that, I need to create my own version of that. And at 16, I ended up saying to my parents, I need to move. All right, I didn't tell them.
No, you did not.
I saved my money from my allowance, and I rented an apartment in Westwood by UCLA. And
How
I
old
would
were you
leave.
again?
Huh?
How old were you again?
I was 16, had just turned 16, just got my driver's license, so I got a car now. And I would leave rehearsal and drive to Westwood and go into my apartment. And what was in it? Big plants, a stereo, and a refrigerator full of food. And I would water my plants, look at my watch and say, I better get home, and dip back. And one Friday night was a tough script for us. For me, it was a little heavy for me. So when we got done taping, I was like, I got to go home. I need the break mentally. I love my mother, love my father, brother, love them, but I need to go home. So I said, when I got to the apartment, I said, Mom, Dad, I have an apartment in Westwood that I've had for about 4 months, and I need to go home tonight. What do you mean you got an apartment? And I'm like, oh boy, mother's from, Bajan mother from Barbados people. I'm like, oh, I know I'm in trouble. I said, well, I'm going home. Here's the address, and I'm going to go home now. And I turned around, and it's like Eddie Murphy's piece. I expected to hear, boom, with that shoe hitting me. I got out the door, no shoe. Hustled on down the block, down the hallway, got the elevator, no shoe. Got in my car, nobody coming through, and I drove home. Ooh. I got home, I watered my plants, I put on some music. I said, okay. I went to sleep. 6 o'clock in the morning. 6 in the morning. Like, who is it? It's your mother, let me in.
Oh, of course.
But they came in. She searched the apartment. She's looking for them 17-year-olds y'all talking about. There was no 17-year-olds. There was no airplane. There's nothing there but some quarters stacked from a laundry and a refrigerator full of food. She realized I was only there because I was expressing my individuality and my character. And I made breakfast for my mother and father, and we sat and had breakfast, and we became very close friends.
They accepted you as, you grew up.
Fred Berry, Francesca Berry, they set that in motion.
I thought you all would want to hear that. We're going to do questions from the audience. I've been burned before, y'all. I'm going to hand you the microphone. You do not need to audition. They are not here for that. Quick questions. We're going to do about 5, okay? Because you have a lovely hat on.
Oh, thank you. Good evening. First of all, thank you for putting on this series. I really enjoy it. Thank you all for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I have 2 questions for Mr. Hilton Jacobs. One,
I'm in trouble. I'm ready.
No.
I'm messing with you.
No, you safe today.
Okay.
What
Today.
do you consider your favorite acting role? You played many.
That's always weird for me to answer. The most fun I ever had was doing Welcome Back, Kotter, because we was a bunch of young guys who were out of their minds. The first year of our show, our producers also produced Chuka and the Man. So Freddie Prinze was a buddy. Jimmy Walker would come hang out. So we were just nuts. So that's the most fun. The most involving layered role was doing Joe Jackson. I played him from 20.
Yes, sir.
The many layers. I played him from 20 years old to 54, and I was 38 at the time. So
Wow.
That's the most involving. And Cooley High was just pure bliss all the way.
My second question for you. What? I said 2.
Well, let her get it in, man. It's cool.
I'll make it quick. On the set of Welcome Back, Kotter, you were the only black actor on that show, except for Vernee Watson, which is she's my favorite. How did you feel being a part of that cast? Did you have any say, or was there any backlash with regards to
me being black?
You
Is what you're asking?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, sometimes I tell you how it was. In the beginning, when they first was writing me, the only person they could look to, they thought as an example, was Jimmy Walker, was doing Good Times. I said, I'm not Jimmy. I'm never going to do Jimmy. Get it out of there. And when they tried to write me black, I said, get rid of that. I bring my blackness. Write me funny, and let me find the humor in that. But don't try to write me black. So that never became a problem of the being conscious of being black. Myself, John, Bobby Ron, Epstein, Barbarino, Horshack, we were so new at television. We all became like one person that was 4. And that was our survival for the first year. So There was no thoughts on anything of that nature. And I mean, most of them are gone now, which is sad. But Travolta and Gabe were still cool, and we still have that feeling. So that was the most important thing, that we had a sense of community, and we just loved each other. We still do. Yeah, that's real. It's real. Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Roger, I had this question for you.
Raj.
How was it in playing Undertaker in Everybody Hate Chris?
Oh man, thank Mr. Omar. Tragic. You know, that was such a, because I would see Chris Rock and he'd say hello, but you know, I wouldn't think he cared one way or the other about me, right? And then when he got the show, he created Mr. Omar because he grew up watching me, and he said he wanted to be Raj, and he actually, for my book from Roger Richards, he wrote, watching you made me feel that anything was possible, because I was awkward. I was I wasn't a cool guy. So he created that role for me. Now the problem with that, I'm thinking, are they going to like what I present? You know, they have never seen Mr. Omar. They're giving me this character, and I got to make something out of it. And that's why I always go to Jesus Christ. And it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to be there. And I'm pacing, and I worked on it that night. And this elderly lady was an extra. She said, "Baby, what are you worried about?" I said, "Well, you know, they created this role for me, but they haven't seen it. And what if I get in there and they don't like it?" She said, "Baby, you're not doing this for Chris Rock. You're doing this for Jesus Christ." Oh, wow. And with that, I went in there and did my thing. And I remember Ali Leroy. You know, he came over and says, "You know, when I wrote this, you're saying it in a quirky way that I didn't hear it that way, but I like it. So it was Loretta Devine and Loretta, and of course Tashina Arnold and Cruz. He says, "Well, just do the same lines and let Ernie say whatever comes to his mind," and that's what. Thank God. Yeah.
I have one here.
Okay, we have a question over there.
First of all, I just want to thank you, Living Legends, for taking the time out today.
Thank you.
I still watch you to this day. I have nothing but respect and love for you. If any one of you can answer this question, what's a role that you went for but maybe didn't get that kind of blew up that maybe we might not know about? If one of you could share.
Real quick. Here's something that's a trap for actors, and they do that. If you go up for a role, you don't get it, you move on. You know, and I learned that early, on. If I didn't get the role, I didn't get it. I'm not going to go off like when they did the movie Ragtime, which is an old movie back in the day, and they had Sidney Poitier-itis. They wanted a new Sidney Poitier, and they gave me a hard time about wanting to bring me in for it. And my friend Howard Rollins got the part, and he was brilliant, and so forth. You don't regret that. You move on, because you'll be poisoning yourself, and you'll be constantly giving your power away, to somebody else, and that you do not do. You don't sell your integrity, and you don't give away your inner strength to nobody. Yeah.
It was actually Roots Kunta Kinte, and initially because you're so full of yourself, right? I had What's Happening, but I wanted that role. It was between me and LeVar Burton, and I'm like, not this short dude. I don't know why he. I'm not seriously. I'm like, why is he for the audition? Oh my Lord, bless his heart. And so I'm not seriously, and he was the best. I cried when they called Ernie. They went with LeVar, but it's his role.
Yeah. But let me say something.
He was so together.
In that instance, because we know LeVar and we're friends with him. Sometimes when they're casting things like that, Ernest is a wonderful actor and always has been. But sometimes you're too familiar for them in a certain part. If they get some, LeVar was a guy out of college at USC. Nobody ever heard of him. He never even acted. But he felt he was a right guy, and he was something new. So they surrounded him with the Cecily Tysons and the famous Sulalas, whoever was in the movie, including me. I was in it, But sometimes that gets in the way, because you're so known.
You all heard
they
right?
can't see the character.
And you know what?
Yeah.
And if I can comment on that as well, all of this is about the business of entertainment. And that's what I'm about. Norman Lear casted me as Michael for Good Times, along with Bernadette Stanis. First was with Chip, So Chip Field's, Kim Field's mom and I were first the ones, and then they let Chip go and they put me and Bernadette together. And I'm thinking, I go back to New York, I got this role. Next thing I know, I don't have the role, Ralph Carter. But thank God, because Ralph Carter was actually perfect for that role. He is the militant midget. And he was perfect.
You got to tell him that.
Yeah, he's perfect. So I applauded that choice, but it speaks to the business of entertainment. There's so much more that goes on behind the scenes to create what we see and enjoy up front. And the writing, I'm a writer, so the writing to me is everything, how you write. You had asked a question earlier about reality TV, and the bottom line is, the game has changed significantly. When corporations take over creative entities, all they care about is the bottom line. They have to create something that they can put together without paying lots of actors and other type of fees to make their money. That doesn't make it right, but it is the nature of the business. But then the pendulum always comes back, because in the end of the day, you need the creativity, which is the actors and the writers and the good producing, so you can place the right people in the right piece at the right time, and that's where we're headed now, and that opens up the door for all of us and many others in an independent fashion as producers and business people. It's about business show, not show business, and that's what I'm about.
We have one more question here.
Thank you. This is a question for all of y'all. I just want to know, what are y'all currently doing now?
He's selling crack. It's okay.
Yeah, he's selling crack.
Yeah. We ain't pulling
And
no-
exotic dancing.
He tried to put a suit on it, and we ain't buying it. Okay.
We were going to skip over the
Yeah.
crack. I skipped over the crack for most of the episode. He brought it up.
Oh man, we got to bring out the truth
And
sometimes.
that's my exotic dancing for seniors.
Yeah, I was
But
going to
look,
say, right. There's a video on my Instagram of him exotic dancing, and I'm like, no, he did not on my Instagram.
Well, we do have the cartoon version of Everybody Hates Chris on Comedy Central. So I'm doing the voice of Mr. Omar. On comedy. Everybody still hates Chris. They still hate him. Yeah, they still hate him on Comedy Central. Yeah.
Hello.
I'm a writer, so I continue to write and package projects and try to encourage young folk to get in the game, but with the right foot, so that they can get this independent thing going. For all of us, we can work together, but it would be great to be able to pass that torch to some youth that we know are going to take it in the right direction. So our mentorship, and I try to keep myself in that. And back to acting also, because you all have demanded it. They said, where are you? We want you back on camera. But it starts for me with the writing.
Right. I have one here.
Let me get it. I'm getting my plug in too.
We're not done answering.
Okay.
No, what I'm doing right now is I'm currently in rehearsals. They're doing a dramatic musical version of Jason's lyric, and it's coming to Philadelphia. So look out for it. So they got Tretch in it, and they got Alan Payne, and they got Victoria Rowell, and just down the line, and Tyron Turner. And I'm playing the crazy drunk daddy. Here we go again, another jackass. But I'm that guy. Yeah, so.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're doing that right now.
Awesome.
My darling is just being sweet and being a doctor. And
Dr. Spencer?
Yeah, I'm just, basically, I'm doing a lot of photography. And I know that you're going to say, remember, I used to take pictures all the time, and I used to talk about them. But I just, that's my creative outlet now, doing photography.
Yeah.
Hello, good
We got one way
evening.
back there, huh?
Hi. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to
Thank you for
ask-
showing out, too. Showing up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is y'all's ages now?
Where's our
Is that-
Give up the truth.
55.
I mean, Mr. Jacobs. Mr. Jacobs
55.
told us his. Mr. Jacobs.
55.
Okay.
55 plus, what, plus tax. Yeah, man.
No, 75. 75. 75, yeah.
I'm 64.
I'm 71.
Oh, 55, 6, depending on the day.
You have a question here in the back?
Hi. Speaking about the business, what advice would you give a parent who is ushering their child through going into being a store? Since you were all child stores, pretty much. What advice would you give a parent?
That's a big one for me. In fact, even SAG-AFTRA, our union, has asked me to chair a committee on that regard because it's important. I think, first and foremost, I would say trust them. If they're going to go into the game, there's a certain natural element of them. Don't don't lord over that. Don't try to mold that. Let them be who they are. But more importantly, learn the business so that you're the protector for them, so that they can feel free to not have to worry about that and just go in and do what they have to do. Learn what it means to protect that artist. Learn what it means to financially prepare that artist so that they can have the stability to make better choices later, so they don't feel compelled to have to do anything that isn't natural. That would be my advice.
Okay, y'all, we're down.
Got two more.
Two more?
Yeah.
We have
See
one.
my man back there with the baby in his arm, man.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Please, thank you for coming. This question is for Mr. Ernest Thomas. I noticed that on What's Happening, you guys never really broke character, but how hard was it not to laugh when my man was singing, but he was singing Handyman?
Oh, my
Come,
Lord.
come.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. He hammed it up. So, how hard was it for us to hold it when you were doing hand? Oh, Handyman. Oh, my Lord.
You know what? And they got what they deserve, because somebody hands me a script and tell me I'm going to sing this song. I go and listen to the song and say, now, Dwayne, what's Dwayne going to do this? I want him to do with this song. And they say, well, just do what you feel. And I went, that's it? And he said, yeah. I went, all right. Okay. And they're not supposed to laugh at all. It's supposed to be so bad.
Yeah.
Can you sing it the worst ever? And I went,
it was hard.
I can mess it up now. And that's where that came from.
It
That
was
was hard.
because y'all saw him going back and forth. But,
Get back.
I was told that was probably going to be the last question, but we have a statement. She made it very clear to me. She said that she had a statement.
Get your mic, darling. Get
How
your
you
mic.
doing? My name is Jay. I just want to say I'm 29 years old, so that tells you how I've been young watching you guys. D, I love you. You're my girl. I'm telling Mama.
Oh, yes.
I love you as an actor, sir. You've seen you in a lot of things. Dwayne, hey.
That's right,
Raj, I love you. You remind me of my grandpa. I just want to let you know that.
The truth.
You remind me of my grandpa. You're very funny. You're very handsome.
Thank
I
you,
loved you
baby.
and Everybody Hates Chris, and you had me saying tragic for years.
Thank you, baby.
That's all I wanted to say. And, no, we still have the DVD sets. It's me, my mom, my aunts, my sister. We have the box sets, and we still watch it.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It really was a statement. I was worried. I wasn't sure how that was going to go.
Oh, he got one more.
I've been burned before.
He's ignoring me. One more. He's got one more, brother. You got to get him in. Let the one more person get it. Yeah.
My question is for Dr. Danielle Spencer. I was wondering if your character D, which you played superbly, was any of that some of Danielle? Some of maybe that feistiness? Was any of that from you?
Tread lightly on that question. Would you?
I didn't know you like that.
You know what? I would say that Danielle was very, very different than that character.
not at all.
I went to school with her. There's a whole different, very sharp, very witty, quite the prankster.
I watched
but
her grow up.
not
you
like
know?
Dee. And
so
I
that
think
wasn't
that Cheryl Pelt might have gave her a couple backhands. She had to come off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But she enjoyed playing that. She
Oh.
enjoyed being a pain.
Masterfully played.
Sorry?
Good,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
good evening. I've enjoyed this immensely, and I'm older than all of you.
Thank you.
But my question is, did any of you sign contracts during your years that are giving you residuals at this point in your life?
I'm going to say this to me. I'm going to cut you off anyway. With the residual thing, in my show, Welcome at Carter, we found out what they wanted to do. I said earlier, they wanted to buy us out. We didn't go for that. So we were able to renegotiate how our deal would be, not knowing it would work out. And until this very day, we're still getting residuals from Welcome Back Carter. To this day. You know? And sometimes them checks are surprising.
Yeah.
I got one 2 weeks ago. I was like, damn, man, really? You know,
And I think the same with what's happening. All right? I mean, our contract was allowed for residuals, but at in my opinion, from a business standpoint, at the very light level. However, thank God for where we are technologically and streaming and all the new platforms that have shown up, it's opened the game up, and now we get paid on all of it. And SAG-AFTRA, thank you to the union for that.
But they do try to buy you out, right? Larry's right. They will try to buy you out.
Oh, they will.
We'll give you a check right now. Right now. And thank God I had Jerry Weinstein, a great lawyer, God rest his soul, that looked after me.
So,
no doubt.
So I'm the boss, so I'm going to ask a couple of questions. If you don't mind. Okay, Dr. Spencer, your story is you personify being a survivor. You were a breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
You survived a tragic car accident.
Yes.
And you've had a plethora of medical issues. Could you tell us how have you done this? I mean, you are a walking miracle.
You know, I can't really say it's anything other than God. And just knowing that, God, He's been on my life. I've been blessed with a great family, friends, and always believing that whatever's going to happen is what God ordained, and He knows I can get through it, no matter what.
And so, and so another thing is that I'd like to know, what was your experience working with Mabel King, because she was an interesting lady. She was a Reagan Republican. She had a very strong constitution, and she ended up. I mean, she had a sad ending. She had diabetes. She had her legs amputated. She had
She never lost her spirit, though.
Yeah. So could you guys talk about Mabel King really quick, please?
Oh, my God, right?
Wow.
If she was here now, she would entertain you guys. Oh, my God. Such a great singer and dancer and just a great personality.
Yeah,
She
very
was a
powerful.
mother, right?
She was a mother to everybody.
Mother Earth to everybody.
Everyone, and
Great lady.
And I remember spending a lot of time with Mabel. She was in the motion picture hospital and housing facility, which was right down the way from my house. So I used to go down and hang out with her. And what a unique individual. She had this rock that maybe stood, maybe 3.5 feet tall, this sheet rock. And somebody gave her the rock. And she sat there, and with a pen, she said she could see famous people in the rock. I'm like, okay, maybe Mabel's a little...
No, she's being deep. Yeah.
But I went and looked at the faces on there, and it's all the famous faces of Hollywood, but their facial features are actually, they were there first on the rock. She saw it, and she would draw Charles Chaplin. And his face, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. But the eyebrows, that's part of the rock. She didn't draw that on. She just highlighted what was already there. And she covered this whole thing and had somebody drill a hole in it and make a lamp out of it. And it was next to her bed.
Wow.
Where that comes from is the type of heavy, creative art person that she was. And she was very powerful. And I enjoyed those moments with her, just sitting there with her on her balcony, and she was in a wheelchair because she was an amputee, and she's in her wheelchair, and we're sitting there, and she's got to smoke a cigarette. She had cigarettes. And I'm like, Mabel, you can't smoke. She goes, that's okay, baby. Mama's going to be fine. She just kept on going. But the stories in Paris, her and Linda Hopkins, her best friend who's a singer, and the stories she would share about them in Paris when America didn't want them. But they went there, and they were accepted and able to expand on their art form, and then came back to America to share it with us secondarily. Powerful lady. Really enjoyed her. I mean,
you saw The Wiz,
everybody.
right? You saw her in The Wiz?
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Good lady.
And the same thing with
Shirley Hemphill.
Shirley, she had rental property. She was a businesswoman.
Yes.
She housed with Martin Lawrence.
Yes.
She was a mentor. What are your memories of Shirley?
Just hilarious, man.
I love
Just
Shirley. What a
quick wit,
person, man.
right?
Quick
Right.
wit,
Just-
fastest wit I've seen.
My Lord.
You know?
Yes.
I used to go out and spend Thanksgiving dinner with her because she was alone after her mom passed.
Yeah.
And she just and she's living in West Covina in her house, and she would have dinner at this one restaurant that she knew the family, and they sat in one other area of the restaurant, the family, and she sat by herself at Thanksgiving. I said, well, I'm coming. I used to go and sit and have Thanksgiving dinner with her, and man, it was just wonderful to sit there, and she's so loving. And what people don't know, because the character Shirley was so tough. Shirley was so loving and so
Very delicate.
sensitive, very delicate, but strong at the same time, because Jimmy Walker talks about her and the stories of her walking from the Comedy Store all the way back to the airport, LAX, and back to the Comedy Store every single night until she could get on, until all the comedians came together and we talked about and put their money together to buy her the car. But who does that?
Right.
That's
right.
strong. But she's a smart businesswoman.
Yeah.
She took all that money and bought real estate.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like her.
Yeah.
So last question: How did you learn how to play Joe Jackson? What did you do to prepare for that role?
I used to beat Ernest every day. No.
I mean, did you spend time with the Jacksons? Did you meet Joe Jackson? What did
Come
you do?
here, man. Ernest. Let me tell you. I knew the Jackson family many years before I ever knew I was going to play Joe.
Okay.
We had been friends, so that's just a wild coincidence. And when the time came around, Joe would not get together with me. He seemed like he was nervous and so forth. So I just read the script, and I started to get a sense of what was going on. And my father was not Joe, but he was similar. He had that stern attitude, and he wore the big, fedora hats, and he looked like he was 9 feet tall to me. And my father was West Indians. He would never talk to you like, Larry, go take out the garbage. He'd say, Larry, go out the garbage. I was like, all right. It's like that all the time. So I understood that. A lot of what happens when you're trying to play a real person is you can't play the person verbatim, but you can play the essence of who they are and where they're coming from. I don't look anything like Joe, but I became that idea of what he looked like and so forth. I mean, he's 5 inches shorter than me, but that didn't matter. So I felt that. I got that flavor from that. I went on instincts. And I tell you this, the first 3 days of filming, Angela Bassett was doing another movie, so she wasn't there. And I saw all those babies playing all of our kids, and them kids was not joking. I even told Angela, I said, we're going to have to wake up, because them kids is coming with it, which was their truth. All the kids come from is honesty, or what they know. They all had great parents, and they were mannered kids and all that wonderful stuff. So that was the essence for me, was to just try to go into the honesty of it and let it happen a little bit and just get along with everybody. Even to this day, I'm working on this play, and I was in Houston last week, and Alex, who played Little Michael, his name is Alex Burrell, is like my son to this day. He's 41 with a 12-year-old daughter who I love to death, and we're still tight to this day. So, yeah.
And brilliant job.
Classic.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, cool. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Okay. So afterwards.
Who doesn't? Yeah. Between us. Yeah. I had 2 daughters and I had 4 grandchildren. My grandkids are 15, 21, 22, and 38. And I'm 71, and that's how it goes. From 2 daughters. Yeah.
My kids are my dogs or cats that I may have.
I have one daughter, Pam Trotter. She's on Abbott Elementary. She's done 9 episodes so far. She's the principal's assistant, so check her out. Yeah, Pam Trotter. Yeah.
I've got 3, 4. I got 4 daughters and 2 sons. All grown.
He made it from being 17.
Yeah, he did.
In an airplane.
A tremendous comeback. So we're going to wrap things up here this evening.
Huh?
We're going to wrap things up this evening, but there afterwards, downstairs, there will be photo opportunities. There are pictures there for them to sign, for them to, and then you can yell out some of the questions that you wanted to that you didn't get through me. But please, afterwards, and don't forget Dancing with the Stars this March 29th, right? March 29th, and yours truly will be one of the dancers. Please.
Are you serious, man? You going for it? Man, you must be out your natural mind, man. Really, you going for it? I was asked 3 or 4 times. I said, I ain't doing that, man. Later.
It's for the library.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
My partner's here. I don't want her to stand. There she is. That's my partner right there.
Yeah, okay. Well, right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Where's the
please,
Where's the alcohol?
It's her.
Yeah.
Far better dancer. So go downstairs, continue to fellowship with all these great actors here. Please check us out. There's another series coming up next week. And for those that are disabled or having some trouble walking, please use the elevators, okay? I'm Kerwin Gaines. Be sure to continue to watch the agenda. We have a lot of things that are dealing with everything that's going on here in Wilmington and the state of Delaware and how these executive orders and all these things are affecting you, okay? So please watch, communicate. I'll see you next time.
Thank you all for showing up.
Thank you for coming all.
Thank you very much. Very good.
Thank you.